Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. And it's Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. We're going to tell you all the news you need to hear about for the weekend. So you don't have to worry about it. You can go blissfully on and have a good weekend without worrying about all the stuff that's going on. Or maybe the good stuff, too. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter podcast where we look up our stories right before we start. We just got coffee in our bodies, learning to speak and read live on screen. Let's roll that segue wheel, but first, get into our headlines. Today on the Friday News Dump. Hungary to sue the EU over ban on Russian gas. That's normal. And they will not be forgiven for their mistakes. UN warns governments that they will pay dearly for famine, conflict, and inflation in their countries.
And in America, a major storm hits Southern California. Plus, we have an inquisitive story. Was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel? Viral report says maybe.
Breaking news. Renters' Rights Act. No-fault evictions banned in England from May 2026. And Novorossiysk oil shipments suspended after Ukraine drone strike sets key terminal ablaze.
And we have a story from The Atlantic. The president who cried hoax. Everything's a hoax. Yeah, even the stuff you ran on.
In my culture news, more England water drama. Wessex Water must pay £11 million over wastewater failures, says a regulator. Plus, not so golden brown. DJ plays 24 hours of number 2s in Lake District super protest.
And let's figure out what the national day is because I just accidentally closed it. And we're going to go back and find it. It is it's National Seatbelt Day. So buckle in. It's November 14th, 2025. I'm Before Coffee. Only 4 things today, but you never know.
There's so many things happening today.
I clicked more, and I came up with... Nope,
I
it's only
clicked
4
more
things.
and I found more. Don't worry.
Nope, still only 4 things. There you go. Yesterday was only 1 thing.
Really?
They just ran out of days.
No, you're right.
Towards the end
like
of the
2
year.
Things.
Yeah, it was 1 thing.
Indian pudding. Whatever.
I think yesterday was it 1 thing.
That was it. Yeah.
But at least it was food. At least it was food related. But the other, I think they just run out of days at the end of the year. What's taken?
Like, what am
What's
I
not
supposed
taken?
to eat if the National Day calendar isn't telling me what to eat? You know.
What's taken? Nobody's taken November 13th yet. I hate that day. Leave me another one. I don't know.
We should honestly, if there's no days, you should just do Saturdays or Sundays next time. Like if there's only 1 day, just and also on Saturday it's this because we don't have any other days.
Yeah, November 13th needs to be National November Coffee, not Before Coffee Day. National.
There you go.
Before
you can
Coffee
petition
Day,
National Day
November
calendar
13th.
to put that on there.
It's going to be the second Thursday of every month. No, of November. No, let's do it. Let's do it. No, let's go through the calendar and find one that only has 1 day, and then let's do that.
Yeah, and that's the day for Before Coffee.
Yeah, we don't want to wait a year to do it. I'll forget it by then. Oh yeah, I remember now. Anyway,
let's start our first segue wheel. Let's roll the wheel so we can talk about some.
I thought you had a story about dirty water. Did you have a story about dirty water?
Yeah, my culture stories are going to be about dirty water.
Got it. All right, that works.
Hypothetical for this first segue.
Right on.
And we're going to be talking about not water, but, well, in a way, dirty water, oil, right? gas prices, Russian gas.
What did I get?
This is from.
What did I get?
I said hypothetical, and then you said, "Oh, okay." And then you forgot. Hypothetical. This is from Martin Fornusek on the Kyiv Independent. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban said on November 14th, which is today, that Hungary would take the European Union to court for its decision to ban Russian gas. We do not accept this obviously unlawful solution contrary to European values, Orban said on a weekly radio show, AFP. We are turning to the European Court of Justice. The Council of EU agreed in October to phase out Russian energy imports by the end of 2027. The decision was approved by a qualified majority, with Hungary and Slovakia being the only member states to oppose it. Slovakia, what the hell? Go back to the Soviet Union if you want to be like their gas so much. The two
They're so gassy.
Remain
Like
largely
gassy
dependent
place,
on Russian oil and gas imports, and their leaders have repeatedly obstructed EU aid to Ukraine and sanctions against Moscow. Oil and gas exports remain a key source of Russia's federal revenue, helping to fuel its all-out war against Ukraine. Orban, seen as the most Kremlin-friendly leader in the EU, also said that he is exploring other non-legal means of dissuading the EU from the move, but did not provide further details. Non-legal, I think he means like not through courts. He's not gonna. He's looking for ways to get gas that isn't
Black market, man.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is get on the black market. I mean, Russia's really
Hungary
gassy.
came under
Why don't you
pressure.
just tunnel under the earth for it?
Yeah, probably. Hungary came under pressure after convicted felon Trump, who maintains warm ties with Orban, urged European countries to cut off Russian energy imports and sanction major Russian oil companies. Orban traveled to Washington last week to successfully negotiate an exemption from this agreement. While Budapest claimed that the waiver is for an unlimited period, the Trump administration said it had only granted a one-year exemption for Hungarian gas. But what do they have to do with that? I'm just saying it's the EU that's banning it, so who cares what the US has to say? The EU is the one banning it. The US has nothing to do with that. They're not in the EU. Anyways, that's my story. Orban continuing to...
He's got a friend in the White House.
The thing, with Hungary and Orban, specifically Orban, is he wants his cake and eat it. Right? He wants to be in the EU because he gets a lot of help from the EU through different initiatives, right? All sorts of government supplements or whatever. But also, Russia. He wants to be Russia. He's been in power for 15 years or something. He wants to be Russia.
Right. Just imagine if, I'm pretty sure this is my hypothetical, I'm pretty sure Trump's first campaign manager, Paul Manafort, was originally charged with being a foreign agent, unregistered foreign agent, working for Viktor Orban, right?
Really?
So, yeah. So it's nothing really hypothetical. Yeah, I'll ask AI about it. Watch.
Why are you asking AI about it? Just look it up.
Don't talk while I'm asking a question, please. Thank you. Anyway, who was Paul Manafort working for when he was a federal agent? Agent.
Paul Manafort was a lobbyist, political consultant, and attorney, not a federal agent. He worked...
What country was Paul Manafort working for as a non-registered foreign agent?
Paul Manafort pleaded guilty to conspiracy to defraud the United States in connection with his failure to register as an agent of the government of
He's not going to answer the question. He's going to give me a bunch of parsed answers, giving me background facts. Anyway, yeah, that's what he's working for, a federal agent, and he was busted. So hypothetically, we could have had Orban, once upon a time, completely controlling our foreign policy, which he probably does anyway, if he has enough money.
Yeah, in a way. He's definitely doing something. I mean, he's going directly to the U.S. to ask the EU to stop doing something. It's like they're not part of the EU. Who cares?
Manafort
who cares about
was
Trump's
arrested.
opinion on the EU's decision?
Right.
But I'm glad he
was taking
asked
money.
the AI about that. Next story.
Right. This is why lobbyists exist. So you can have laws for it, right? Because this guy was an illegal foreign lobbyist, and if there was no accountability for actual lobbyists, you never would have known it, right? Sorry.
My next story
Okay, I'll
is
stop.
from
It is the news stuff.
which is a Romanian paper.
Ooh.
And we're talking about the UN warning governments all over the globe, not just the EU ones or the part of the EU, that continued famine, conflict, and inflation will affect their countries if they don't do something about climate. This is coming out of COP30. We're still talking about it because it's been happening for all week. Simon Steele, Executive Secretary of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, addressed the gathering of ministers and senior officials from nearly 200 countries, painting a stark picture of the price of failure in the climate crisis. None of your nations can afford this. The climate disaster reduced GDP by double digits, he warned, hesitating while mega droughts destroy national crops, causing food prices to skyrocket, makes no sense, economically and politically. Arguing while famine sets in, forcing millions to flee their homelands, will never be forgotten as conflicts spread. He said that at the opening meeting of the UN Climate Summit, when climate disasters decimate the lives of millions of people, when we already have the solutions, this will never be forgiven. The 2 weeks of talks hosted by Brazil and the Amazonian city of Belém will focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Temperatures have already exceeded the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold needed in 15 periods of time. Freaking 10 years later, some scientists argue that it may still be possible to reduce temperatures to or near an original threshold, though measures such as reducing the powerful greenhouse gas methane, rapidly switching to low carbon technologies, is clear. The science is clear. We can and must bring temperatures back to 1.5 degrees Celsius after any temporary overshoot, Steele said. He said the world is already witnessing the impact of extreme weather conditions in the form of stronger typhoons and hurricanes, droughts and floods. The effects are global, added, causing inflation in basic goods such as food. Seizing the opportunity offered by low-carbon energy, which is now cheaper than fossil fuels, 90% of the world, would create jobs and boost economic growth. Instead, he warned those who give up on take small steps face stagnation and higher prices while other economies advance big steps. Although Steele warned against furls, the first day of the conference will likely be dominated by disagreements over what should be on the agenda for discussion. Under the UNFCCC rules, countries must agree on a central theme for the summit. Before the conference began, 145 potential agenda items were for discussion. Although the host country, Brazil, has worked for months to ensure that countries quickly reach agreement on the agenda, there are still many potential points of contention, no warned delegations. Your task here is not to argue among yourselves, but to fight together against the climate crisis. Andre Correa de Lago, president of COP30, said the agenda-setting process in their way should not be seen as a problem. It's a very legitimate way for countries to express their concerns. One of the key discussions will be about the nationally determined contributions, NDCs, presented, which so far are totally insufficient and would lead the global warming of 2.5 degrees Celsius, which we talked about yesterday. Sadly, through the report, we have increased the temperature globally for the second year in a row. The Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS, has called for the issue to be included on the agenda and urged the conference to adopt a number of measures to improve the situation. Yana Seed, Palwa's ambassador and EOS spokesperson, said, 1.5 degrees Celsius is our guiding star. We must recognize that collectively we are not achieving it. We must find the solution. But this is likely to face strong opposition, particularly from like-minded developing countries, including our famous hate of this year, Saudi Arabia, and other oil-rich states. They prefer to interpret the Paris Agreement's dual goal of keeping temperatures well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursuing efforts below 1.5 as allowing for temperatures to rise to 2 degrees, not to get it there, even though several post-Paris meetings have reaffirmed that 1.5 degrees is the primary. The scientific advice is that dangerous tipping points leading to irreversible changes could be triggered above 1.5 before the 2 degrees limit is exceeded. The same countries may also oppose the attempts to set a roadmap on how to ensure that the world delivers on its promise to transition from fossil fuels 2 years ago at the COP28 in Dubai. Rich countries will also be under scrutiny for failing to cut emissions fast enough to provide sufficient financing to vulnerable developing countries. Last year, they pledged $300 billion in financial assistance as part of a broader goal of $1.3 trillion a year for poor countries by 2035, without a clear plan for how to achieve those goals. They will be under pressure to deliver on these plans this year. The U.S. is likely to be absent from the work, The Guardian reports. As a signatory to the UNFCCC treaty, the U.S. can still participate despite effective President Trump's withdrawal, but most participants believe it's unlikely that a U.S. delegation will fly. Despite his absence, the much-discussed figure at the negotiation as Trump's decisions to halt renewable energy projects and use fossil fuels have had a impact yesterday, right? The U.S. has actually increased their carbon emissions output ever since they changed all the backtracked on all the shit that is good for. And yet again, I want to repeat, right, what we said at the beginning of this article. You might be making money now, right, by cutting all of these initiatives to save the planet. But in the long run, you will have famine, you will have death, you will have climate crisis, and nobody will be able to save you because they'll be dealing with their own shit. You're going to have a large amount of climate refugees flocking to your countries because where they live got destroyed by droughts, floods, right? People, like my entire village is underwater now. I can't go back there. I have to live somewhere else. Literally, there's nowhere for me to return to, right? I can't live here. It's a perma-drought. It's a mega drought. There's no plants being grown there, and they're never going to be. Destroy the planet. This is the future that we're looking at. Half of the, probably more than half, maybe, of the entire Earth population will be dealing with economically unviable
right
places,
this minute,
right?
Dealing with it. Right this minute, as we speak, dealing with it. I can't even say hypothetically about it, but I will say hypothetically. Go on.
That's the end of the article. I just wanted to get
but hypothetically, I would say, what would happen if your city ran out of fresh water because you decided we had no policy. We have absolutely no policy about saving water like Southern California does. I lived there. You can't water your lawns.
And New
I lived in El Paso. Well. I lived in the deserts of Texas and New Mexico, where in El Paso you could not plant grass on your lawn. You had to have desert landscaping. It was a city ordinance. You could only water at certain times. Okay.
Yeah.
Cities like Tehran, for instance, is immediately right this day immediate water crisis because they don't get any rain. It's the desert.
Yeah.
And the authorities there did not ration water at any time. And now they're going to have to start because we're almost out of water. And what happens, hypothetically, if the people in your town, in your city, and there's 10 million people, aren't going to take it anymore because, hey, we're out of frickin' water. So we might see a revolution there.
Yeah. Water is very important. We literally can't live without it. I think you can't drink water for 3 days until you die. You can eat, you cannot eat for a week, but you need water at least every 3 days to live. So running out of that, not good.
Right. Look fresh for water.
People are going to die of dysentery because they're going to start drinking any water they can find. That's going to be full of who knows what in it, right? And then they're going to die of dysentery, and that's another thing. Dead people are everywhere because they're all dying.
I will quote Bob Dylan. You can take your money, but I don't know how you're going to spend it in a tomb. That's from Black Diamond Bay, one of the underrated Bob Dylan songs of all time. Black Diamond Bay. All right, so I guess
speaking of the weather going bad, right? You have a story about that.
I guess yeah.
So let's roll the segue and talk about some mudslides.
Stormy. Another place I used to live.
I'm gonna have to tell some jokes about this, and I don't know. They're gonna be bad. I already know.
A joke. Nobody's dead in this story, as far as I know. So they can joke about it.
Well, I would joke about it even if they are dead. That's not a cancel for me.
No, not necessarily. It depends. There are funny jokes, but we won't bring up any funny jokes about people getting, they're just desserts, as they say. Let me write that down. What did you get? You got a joke, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No joke. You got a joke. All right. If I leave it blank, it leaves me wondering. All right, this is a live update. It says a update from KTLA. Tony Kurzweil says live. Why would they lie? A powerful storm system with a potential to drop several inches of rain and trigger mudslides and debris flows in burn areas arrived in Southern California overnight. Don't forget, in January, they had a massive fire that destroyed hundreds of homes. Forecasters expect the storm to bring 2 significant rainfall events to the region, with the first already underway and continuing into Friday afternoon. The second surge will affect the area from Sunday morning through Saturday afternoon, according to the National Weather Service. Between 2 and 5 inches of rain expected across the region. There's a lot of damn rain, especially where it doesn't have any level ground to saturate. It just
I thought
runs.
rain season was over in November, but I've never lived in California.
At least they're not having brush fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually the San Ana Woods time of year.
Fires in
every
November.
fall in Southern California, San Ana winds, unless it's a freak event like this. Between 2 and 5 inches of rain are expected across the region, with 4 to 8 inches. Forecasting mountain and foothill areas, and National Weather Service said, if they're still being fully funded. Showers intensified Friday morning in Ventura County and parts of Los Angeles County. Until about noon today, the majority of heavy rain seems to be in the area west of the LA Orange County lines. KTLA meteorologist Henry DiCarlo said, "For those of you in the IE, or the Inland Empire," I love that name, Inland Empire, it's the desert. It's the desert while they grow all the food way out there in El Centro, and it's called, what's the name of that county? Inland Empire. Or maybe they're talking, actually, they might be talking about even Riverside in that area. They have just weird language in California. Let's put it that way. Inland Empire. You might go through your Friday and start to question the forecast. Remember, it's going to take a good 4 to 6 hours, maybe 8 hours for this rain to push off to the east. So, yeah, they'll probably be out there having a picnic, and then, oh shit, it's raining somewhere else. And then flash floods will fool you because you don't think you're getting any rain. Not raining here. A flood watch, and there's not a lot of level ground in Southern California. There's not a lot of flat area. A flood watch due to the chance for excessive rainfall is in effect through Saturday evening for most of Southern California. Conditions are also lining up for possibility of weak tornadoes. That would be interesting. When the second part of the storm arrives Friday into Saturday, Henry said. City and county officials are preparing for the possibility of significant damage. Evacuation warnings have been issued to residents of these burn scar areas. Let's list them here. Eaton Palisades, or know that Palisades, fire. Canyon, Bethany, Hearst, Kenneth, Sunset, Lydia, Franklin, and Bridge. Those are, I guess, sub-neighborhoods of actual Los Angeles. Anyone in these areas should be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Yep. The land's going to shift under you, boys and girls. There's your update. What's the joke? No joke.
I got a joke about mud. Maybe not mudslides, but a joke about mud.
Yeah. All right.
So, if your coffee tastes like mud, it's probably fresh ground.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Yeah.
I was in the cheap seats at the rodeo, and I began to heckle the people in the front because they were getting splashed by mud. Boy, did I get a lot of dirty looks. Because they're covered in mud. Alright, there you go. Your mud jokes. Oh, here we go. A man in a pile of mud began to race. The mud won by a landslide. That's a terrible one. Okay. You have another story, right?
Yeah, we have a speculation story. And you know what? Let's speculate about the dead guy who is channeling small little children to rich, influential people. I don't care if we speculate about him at all. Was Jeffrey Epstein working for Israel? That's a good question. Bio-report and online theories suggest deep Mossad intelligence ties and secret espionage drama. India Times' Nilohit Bagchi has this story. This is a headline in a lot of different news organizations. I don't know how reputable all of them are, but we're going to do the story anyway. Because, again, the caution here is, cautionary tale, speculation is not news. However, this guy cannot defend himself. However, we need to figure out what the hell's going on because the government is hiding something and protecting somebody. So, we, as citizens, are free to speculate, void of information. If any of this information turns out to be incorrect, I apologize for the inaccuracy of this report. Thank you. A new investigation claims Jeffrey Epstein has close ties to top Israeli intelligence figures, reigniting old rumors that he may have worked with Mossad. I'm not saying this, folks. Don't kill me in my sleep. Excuse me. Online users are now connecting dots, questioning global power networks and demanding answers about how Epstein's influence and protection truly went. A new drop site news investigation has reignited one of the most controversial theories surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, that the disgraced financier may have worked with Israeli intelligence. The report, titled "Israeli Spies Stayed for Weeks at a Time at Jeffrey Epstein's Mansion," reveals that Yoni Koren, a senior Israeli intelligence veteran and close aide to former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, Ehud Barak's one of them guys that was probably behind the assassination of Rabin, just letting you know, repeatedly stayed at Epstein's New York apartment between 2013 and 2015. Those are major ties. Leaked emails also suggest financial ties between Barak and Epstein, including details about a possible wire transfer to Koren's city bank account. Another email described Koren collecting a package, Beats headphones, and a bank card from a Manhattan hotel, sparking curiosity whether it was ordinary or coded communication. The same investigation connects Epstein's dealings to Israeli-led security projects in Mongolia, Russia, and Africa, suggesting the helped broker suggesting he helped broker back channel deals for Barak during sensitive political periods, using his political influence to help Israeli government officials. The drop site report has gone viral on social media with users across X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit. Excuse me, it's the soda talking. Reddit debating whether Epstein was acting as a Mossad asset. Some users shared quotes from emails where Epstein described himself as a freelance diplomat for Israeli interests. That seems like a paid foreign agent. He should have been registered as a paid foreign agent, saying that this proves he worked to advance Israeli agendas. Others pointed to his close friendship with Ehud Barak, a former Israeli defense minister and head of military intelligence, as evidence of espionage connections. They were probably bunghole buddies. Let's get it straight. They were bunghole buddies. They took turns, man. They just took turns on top. The bunghole buddies, Jeff Epstein and what's his name? Ehud and Jeffrey sitting in a tree. Anyway, independent journalists like Matuza Hussein and Caitlin Johnstone noted that the major media outlets had barely covered the revelations, calling it one of the biggest unreported stories of the decade. For many online, the pattern looks too organized to ignore. Epstein had unexplained wealth, elite political access, and deep involvement in technology and intelligence-linked industries. One of the craziest things happening right now, this is a Twitter post from a user that I'm reading. One of the craziest things happening right now is how there's been report after report showing that Epstein really was an Israeli intelligence operative based on publicly available documents, and yet it had no measurable impact on mainstream media or politics, says Caitlin Johnson, citizen, right? Same question we all have. Shouldn't we be investigating that part? Maybe Charlie Kirk was onto something. There's a big story. The reactions online are intense and divided. Supporters of the Mossad theory argue that the pattern of financial transactions, political meetings, and secretive stays all point to a covert operation. How many people had a reason to kill Jeffrey Epstein? Wow, I wonder how long that list is, right? Who killed him? And why are these guards never been charged with anything? Just blows my mind. I don't have an answer. Someday I will. To why 2 guards falsified their logbook to say that they had checked on Jeffrey Epstein. And they were never charged with any crime. The charges were dropped because they provided information. And there's actually no information that they provided because they were never asked to do anything under oath. So the charges were dropped for no reason. I doubt they were dropped for no reason. What the hell? Hey, on with the story. Some posts even call Epstein a blackmail agent who gathered compromise on powerful U.S. international figures to benefit Israeli interests. Oh boy. This is deeper and deeper. One viral comment read, they used Epstein to control politicians, and now the proof is in plain sight. There's videos, folks. There's videos somewhere. Maybe the FBI's deleted them all now, but they're out there. Since Epstein is back in the news, maybe the media will pay attention, to Drop Site News, which has published 4 successive stories showing Epstein acting directly on behalf of Israeli government security interests, says another Twitter user. Others push back, noting there's no concrete proof or classified record showing Epstein was formerly employed by Mossad. That's an actual statement somebody said. There's no classified record. How do you know there's no classified record? It's classified. Am I missing something about the word classified? Classified. Here's what classified means. You can't see it, Mr. Ordinary Citizen, and the media don't have it. It's classified. Somebody in the government knows, though. They do. They know exactly what he was doing. They're not going to tell you. Why would they? It's classified. That's why they have it. That classified shit. They've had it for a while. Try to pay attention to the words we use. Back to the story. Some say the reports rely on circumstantial evidence and risk fueling here we go with the anti-Semitic crap. Still, okay. Let's have facts. They claim the story exposes global networks of influence involving intelligence agencies, billionaires, and politicians who protected him for years. Yes, it definitely does show that, but it also shows he was hosting officials and doing things for them that seem a little suspicious. So, I don't know. We have a right to question it. I don't know. Anyway, that's the story. Hopefully, you have a good joke for me.
I have a couple of jokes.
All right.
First joke is, they just found Jeffrey Epstein's diary. His last entry was about 12-year-olds. That one's a
What's
bit.
the joke?
I think you have to read that one. What do Jeffrey Epstein and Halloween decorations have in common? They don't hang themselves.
I don't know.
I heard the officers on Epstein's suicide watch did their jobs. They watched the whole thing. There you go. There's your.
Yep, exactly. I'm still like I'm gonna see if I can find what happened to those. I'm just gonna find out what happened to those 2 guys and see if somebody out there knows what the hell happened to those 2 guys that were supposed to be watching him. Are they off in some island somewhere drinking margaritas and going, yeah, we got over, man. Mob's never gonna come and kill us now, and we'll find out they'll be floating somewhere in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Really
That's off
tragic.
America. We get run by a bunch of fucking criminals. Of course, it isn't like we didn't warn you that Trump was a criminal back in 2016, 2015. It ain't like we didn't warn you. You sat here and go, really? A criminal. That's who you want. A criminal. A guy who actually freaking doesn't pay his freaking contractors.
I think
a guy
murder,
who bankrupted casino.
I mean, obviously, well, I don't know. I think murder is a pretty bad crime, right? Killing another human being is pretty bad. There's crimes, you know, like laundering, which is all about money, stealing people's stuff, robbery, crimes.
Exactly.
There's a lot of criminal
the question I have
that are really awful because they affect money and what you own, and well, in one case, end your life. But I truly believe sex crime is the worst crime because it's not the killing of a person, it's the killing of a soul. Victims of these crimes are changed forever.
Yeah, and again,
And
the
people
defense
don't
is
believe them too. That's the worst part.
defense is Trump. The defense of Trump is the defense for the Trump. Well, nobody's named him by name. Are you kidding me? You know what would happen to him?
Yeah.
Do you know what would happen to him if they named him by name? Get serious, dude. They're holding their ammunition.
Also,
They're not
there's
going
a
to
reason
sit there.
why people, victims of sex crime, don't say, "Hey, you know, it happened to me," because everyone in the world will be like, "Nah, you're just doing it for attention." Right?
And I'm speaking specifically about the one who commits suicide. So probably didn't commit suicide. I'm not sure she committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the other point I want to make about Trump was back in the day when he was still running, people were telling me, I'll ask you a question. I'll ask you a question and ask them. How do you bankrupt a casino and why? Why would you why would you start a casino and go bankrupt?
Some sort of money laundering scheme or something.
Exactly, right? It's not an accident. It's not bad management because he could bankrupt at a casino. He lost money because he was laundering money. And he declared bankruptcy. He had to close all these casinos, his hotels, because he was laundering all the illegal money he was making and all the illegal shit he was doing. And the IRS doesn't have any records of all the illegal shit he did, because the one thing that's Trump does that's smart is he never leaves a paper trail. He never leaves a paper trail. He makes suggestions, he hints, that kind of shit. Either way, Jeffrey Epstein has videos of him somewhere that the FBI has probably erased already. But they exist somewhere else. And there's a digital footprint.
Yeah.
Right. Dark web. All right, I'm sorry.
Let's roll our next
story.
reel for my next story, which is about some Ukraine war updates and renters' rights in the UK. I'm going to re-roll the wheel because it rolled hypothetical again. Let me roll it 15 times and then I'll still roll hypothetical. It really likes that side of the wheel. Yeah, there it goes again. Hypothetical and Joker next to each other, by the way, and it keeps on going back there.
We need to just relabel the wheel with put them in different places.
All right, give me alliteration headline for my first story, which is about Renters' Rights Act in the United Kingdom. This is by Tara Welsh on the BBC.
Did you say renters' rights? I'm 2/3 there.
No fault evictions to be banned in England from May. No fault evictions will be outlawed in England from May 1st, 26. The government confirmed as it set out the timeline for sweeping renters' reforms. The changes also see the end of fixed-term tenancy contracts as renters move on to agreements, as well as an end to bidding wars and clear rules on having pets. Landlords have said the would increase the screening of prospective tenants and have spoken on the nervousness on what happens when this is wrong. Yeah, well, people who get regulated always complain about regulation. Housing Secretary Steve Reed said the government was calling time on rogue landlords by initiating a raft of measures with the Renters' Rights Act. We're now on a countdown of just months for that law coming in, so good landlords can get ready and bad landlords to clean up their act. Shadow Housing Secretary Sir James Cleverly said that the reforms will drive landlords to the market, reduce supply, and send prices up for tenants. Reminder that shadow something means that it's the opposition. Right now, the opposition are the Tories for the Conservative Party. So of course they're going to say, wait, if we regulate people, the people who make money will make less money. Not bad. And he said that the stop date of May 26 we are not set for the seasonal fire sale for tenants without short notice. Approximately 4.4 million households in England rented from a private landlord between 21 and 23. The new rules will affect more than 11 million people. The Renters' Right Act, described as the biggest shake-up to renting in England in more than 30 years, was formally approved at the end of October. While many renters welcomed the introduction of the timeline, some landlords expressed concern about the changes. Ben Beadle, chief executive of the National Residential Landlords Association, said the deadline alone to implement the changes is not enough. He added, "We have all agreed consistently that landlords and property businesses need 6 publication of regulation to ensure the sector is properly prepared for the biggest changes it has to face for 40 years. For May, properties will be rented on a periodic basis rather than under a fixed 12 to 25 month contract. Tenants who want to leave can give 2 months notice, with which the government says will prevent tenants paying rent for substandard properties. Landlords will no longer be able to evict tenants for complaining about poor conditions. Hey, you haven't fixed the water heater in months. You know what? You can just leave. Excuse me? I need a place to live. That's not my problem. You shouldn't have complained about how I don't fix the water heater. That's so fucked up that they were That's an example. More than 11,000 households have had their homes repossessed by bailiffs following a Section 21 eviction to June. In this year to June. So 11,000 people have just been like, I'm homeless now. Just suddenly, Victoria, 25, had to suspend studying free after she received a Section 21 in March. She was living in Durham while studying at the University of Northumbria. Please, the eviction was partly due while the problem condition. I ended up having no choice to move back to my parents, and I was devastated. Your safety net cannot be pulled away on a whim by the landlord. Carrie, 27, became homeless after reporting significant mold in her Cambridgeshire flat to the Environmental Health in 2020. The council placed her in temporary accommodation while the landlord was told to address the issue, but she was still stuck paying rent for a place full of black mold. The council placed... She said, I think it's outrageous that the landlord continued to charge me full rent. Ultimately, he didn't really face any obstacles. A few weeks after she moved back in, she was given a Section 21 notice, making her homeless. She would nap in public bathrooms, sleep on long bus routes, and shower at her gym. I think it's so ridiculous that your home safety net and foundation is pulled away on a whim of the landlord, Carrie said. And then there's pictures of this black mold. Like, I'm not lying. Actual black mold. And not like, oh, there's a little black stain on the wall. Like, straight up looks like a cow print on the wall. No, I don't see any problem here with this giant black stain on the wall. That's just, it's a feature. By the way, you can die from black mold. That's why we think
gives it character,
dangerous.
Man.
Yeah, it's not just like,
I'm sorry you're going to have to charge you extra for having a pet.
Actually, I knew a small tangent here. I know a British couple that was raising a baby, like a new baby, and they were constantly mold and mildew in the room where their baby was growing up in. And I'm like,
oh my,
we have to leave because it is actually affecting our health, and the landlord is doing nothing to fix it. And what's worse is they say something along the lines of, well, I mean, it's an old farmhouse conversion. It's gonna have mold. It's like, no. You don't get to excuse having a bad property by saying, well, that's just how they work. Fuck off. 10 households in Hackney, East London.
Yeah, that's a landlord, though, right?
Landlords, one landlord owning probably way more than 10 households. Said they had recently...
In London, it's probably an aristocrat, too, right?
Without reason. You're evicted because I want to raise the rent, but it's easier to raise the rent if I kick out the previous tenants. One of the affected tenants who did not want to be evicted said she was really panicking. We were looking for a place this time last year. It took us 3 to 4 months to find one, she said. The government confirmed that all Section 21 notice issued before May will stand, but it said landlords must begin repossession proceedings by the 31st of July 26. The overhaul of the current system means that from May 1, landlords will only be able to evict tenants in certain circumstances. If tenants damage a property, commit antisocial behavior, or fall significantly behind paying rent. That's such an English thing. They're committing antisocial behavior. They haven't trimmed the hedges in 3 months. I'm sure that's what they'll do, right? You're being antisocial because you don't talk to your neighbors. We're kicking you out. Antisocial. Well, you can't win them all. Maureen Treadwell contacted BBC News with concerns about the new law. Her family rent out 10 properties in Hampshire. They are draconian fines if you get things wrong, so the whole thing feels anti-landlord, she said. It is. Fuck you owning 10 properties in Hampshire. Sell them to the people who live in them.
I'm telling you.
How about that?
These people are all aristocrats, or they wouldn't own anything in London, right?
Yeah.
Right? Correct? Only aristocrats own property in that whole freaking country.
10 you own 10 houses in a place. Sell them to the people who live in them. And fuck off. That's my opinion.
Right. Every rental property in any country, anywhere, should be rent to own. They should pass that law.
Yeah.
If I can make 12 consecutive payments, you now are legally obligated to enter into an agreement that I can own them, right? Don't sit here and bleed me dry and never make repairs and make me pay for my own repairs. That's the thing you got to do with your landlord. Say, look, I fixed the problem. Here's my bill. If they don't pay the bill, take them to court and let a judge make them pay it or lock them up. Oh, and I'm just saying, when people act like they're powerless, that's what pisses me off. They sit there and take it. Don't complain about it. Nail them to the wall. If you're really feeling strong about it.
Yeah, like.
Oh, what can I do? What can I do? I guess England doesn't have courts. Don't they have barristers that sit around and go, didn't we tell you to clean that place up? Or are all just related to each other? And that's all that matters.
I have no idea. Let's continue the story. She raised her fears that without reforms, the court system making it quicker to evict bad tenants, there will be an exodus of people who want to let their homes. Is it worth letting your house and then having a court fight to recover it for 1 year delay? It's not worth it. End up making the housing crisis worse. If you say so. By the way, this woman's like 80, so I just don't care. I don't care about it. I don't want to hear from some old woman owning 10 properties in Hampshire being, oh, it's hard. Well, you should retire then. Let somebody else do it. Reid told the BBC he was working with the Ministry of Justice to look at how we can ensure that there are not undue delays. So if they do have to evict someone, they don't have to wait a year to re-rent the property. That's the argument she's making, right? She doesn't want to have to wait a year for an eviction to go through, just so that she can start making money off of the property. In situations where a landlord wants to evict a tenant for behaving. In addition, landlords will be able to evict tenants if they want the seller of the property, but not in the first 12 months after the tenancy begins. The new laws also include banning bidding wars and discrimination of parents and those on benefit. Oh, I can't rent to you. You have 3 kids. As well as setting out a clear process for both renters and pets. Many renters groups have welcomed the changes. The Renters Reform Coalition, Shelter Generation Rent, and Citizens Advice says Section 21 is an issue. It's not the prospect of giving rent of these vital rights that is fueling record homelessness, but the gross injustice of no-fault evictions should shelter Marty's prey. The Renters' Right Act applies to England. Scotland abolished no-fault evictions in 2017. Another reason why Scotland should be its own fucking country. But Wales and Northern Ireland still have no-fault evictions under something similar. 22 Wales increased the notice for these to 6 months. So at least you can't. The problem with England, right, is you're giving 2 months to find an evictions. That was the issue with their no-fault evictions, but they've just completely banned them. Right? Wales still has them, but they've increased it so you have 6 months to find an because 2 months is not enough time, especially if you're having a housing crisis. Definitely not.
Yeah.
2 months to find a new house. Fuck off. 4 weeks.
Seems like they'd have a lot of empty houses now with all these evictions, right? I would say,
they're saying there's going to be a lot of people being mass evicted before the
they're getting evicted. They're getting evicted before, but their houses are unlivable. So that's the reason they're getting evicted.
People are getting evicted for who knows what reason. That's the thing. There are no fault evictions. You don't have to say why. You just do it. So it could be that they're bad tenants. It could be that there's there's a possibility that 11,000 people who have gotten evicted this year were all bad people. Sure, that's possible. I doubt it.
Probably.
Right?
I'm gonna go. I've been on both sides of this.
They're trying to insinuate. I'm sure there's not been a study on this. They're trying to insinuate that people complain. This place is full of black mold. You haven't fixed my water heater, blah, blah, blah. And then the landlord says, if you're going to complain, you can just... And that's it. No fault eviction. I'm kicking you out because you're complaining I'm not doing my job. I think that's
from a headline?
The article was trying to...
Totally get it. You ready for my headline? Lazy landlords lose lousy legal loophole.
Oh, no.
And I've been on both sides. I've been a landlord and a tenant. And being a landlord... has its downsides, especially when you got a tenant that doesn't pay their rent and complains about everything and lets the grass die because I don't want to pay that water bill. I'm like, the water bill doesn't go up. It's based on last year's bill and they just average it out. And I told her that to run the water. I told her that when she rented, let the grass die, turn the freaking water off to the sprinklers, let lawn die. Mm-hmm. And then she was getting HUD money because she had 4 kids and no husband and like 4 kids. Like you can be, your lifestyle can be whatever you want. The 4 kids are, 4 different dads. And she told me that, right?
Yeah.
Like, they all had visiting hours, but a lot of times they were all there. She told me all of it.
Child support for this.
She was getting HUD money.
Yeah.
$300 a month. I got $300 from HUD, right? Was sent to me every month. The rest of the rent she had to come up with. Almost never came up with it. It was like, but you can't evict her because she's on HUD.
Yeah.
Whoa, but that's just okay. And I told the HUD people, isn't this just going to encourage anybody to rent the HUD people? I mean, why would I rent to them? They don't have to pay their whole freaking rent and they can't evict them. They're just going to go, and they're going to let my grass die. So there is a whole...
Yeah, I think that's what the
landlord
is saying, right? It's like, wait, if they're protected from not getting kicked out for 12 months, that means I could be stuck with a bad tenant for 12 months that I can't. And then maybe another year, of trying to get them to get kicked out. You have to take them to court to be like, I didn't want to evict this guy. Yeah.
When you talk about burying trauma, I had buried that trauma. I had completely buried it until this story. I was like, oh yeah, I remember being a landlord. And it wasn't, the next tenant wasn't great. The next tenant wasn't great, but he was better, right? That dude just moved out in the middle of his lease. He moved 3 houses away too. He bought a house, smaller house. He couldn't afford my house. The house we used to live in.
Yeah, I remember.
3 houses away, the other side of Manny. That's where he moved. Manny, and that's where he moved. That's exactly where he freaking moved. I went there. Victor told me, next door neighbor, or 2 houses over on the other side. Victor is there. He goes, yeah. He moved 3 houses down. He told me all about that guy. I ain't gonna smear people here, but
I mean, people are.
You remember Victor,
people
right?
Are human beings. These things are gonna happen, but yeah, I don't really want to hear landlords like just sell the house. Right? I know it's easier than said than done. I guess you can sell to the bank.
But this, to me, this whole story is just they're aristocrats.
Yeah,
they're entitled aristocrats. They've never done anything for anyone at all. Like they might have given to charity or hosted a charity event or whatever. But I'm just saying, I was born this way. I'm entitled, and that's who they are.
Yeah.
So of course they're entitled.
I really just don't want to hear about complaints from people who own 10 properties, right? I'll listen to the complaints from someone like you, right, who has like 1 or 2 in different places. Like technically, right, you had the back 40 in Wisconsin that you.
The only people.
Owning
the only people in
the property that's like 2, and the best part is you own properties in different places, right? I don't like people who like I'm gonna buy this entire block and then I'm going to raise the rent on everyone and then I'm not gonna do anything for these people. That's the people I don't like. Those kind of economically capitalist landowners who just see housing as a way to make money and not what people need to live in.
Yeah, it's different in every country, but specifically your story is about London. And I'm saying
England.
is that
but yes.
England. This is specific to England, Who owns land there besides aristocracy and perhaps who has money? First of all, is maybe the artists who made money, like Paul McCartney or something, right?
Yeah.
He might own some property. Those people, but they weren't born into it. Other than that, or J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, you're right. The UK
shit, right?
never killed all its aristocrats like the French did.
They just keep
still
passing their
here.
estates.
Yeah.
There's still Lord this and Lady that,
You're
and
right.
they ain't done nothing. They just got shot out of the right vagina. That's all that happened. Whoop, there's the Lord and the Lady right there. By golly, we don't have to do shit. All you got. Oh wait, she just did shit right there. Anyway,
let's go to my next story.
let's,
Thank you for your alliteration headline. We're talking about Ukraine updates. I'm going to try to say this word again properly. Novorossiysk oil shipments have been suspended after a terminal was set ablaze in Russia by Ukraine. Russia's largest Black Sea port, Novorossiysk, has stopped receiving and exporting oil after a massive overnight drone attack early today, November 14th, damaged the Sheshkaris oil terminal. Reuters. This is, of course, on the Post by Alyssa Orlova, Katerina Zakharchenko. The strike forced Russia's pipeline monopoly, Transneft, to halt shipments through the company, though the company has declined to comment. Later, a senior security service of Ukraine, SBU, source told Kyiv Post that special forces of the SBU's Alpha unit, together with HUR, Ukraine's Special Operations, the Border Guard Service, and a Navy missile artillery units, conducted an overnight strike on the Novorossiysk oil terminal, damaging loading stands, pipeline infrastructure, and pumping systems with a large fire. The source also confirmed hits on a S-300-400 air defense position at Military Unit 1537, triggering powerful secondary detonations. Wow, what their air defense wasn't active? What happened there? I feel like they shot down a lot of missiles. Some of them missed. Got their target. The Security Service of Ukraine, together with the Security and Defense Forces, continue to reduce dollar revenues to the Russian budget. Every oil refinery or oil terminal that is hit means millions of dollars less for the Kremlin machine. They will continue to deprive the aggressor of resources until it loses the ability to wage war, said an informed source in the SBU. A large-scale drone attack on the terminal also sparked a fire, according to the Krasnodar Regional Emergency Headquarters. The blaze broke out after debris from the intercepted drone struck the complex, forcing an emergency crew to battle the flames for nearly 2 hours. Officials said no casualties were reported at the terminal itself. Well, that's good. I'm sure they probably didn't want to be there. I don't want to fight an oil fire. No, thank you. Sheshkaris facility, built in 1964 and operated by the state Transneft, was among the largest transshipment hubs in southern Russia. It receives, stores, and exports crude and refined products, handling a significant share of Russia's seaborne Urals oil shipment. Urals, the Ural Mountains. The complex includes 30 crude oil tanks with a total capacity of 820,000 cubic meters, along with a multiple reservoirs for fuel oil and diesel. The drone strike also caused damage beyond the terminal. Local authorities confirmed that a civilian vessel in Novorossiysk's port was hit, injuring 3 crew members who were later hospitalized. Several apartment buildings sustained damage from falling debris. In one case, a fragment of a downed drone pierced an apartment on the 4th floor, injuring a man who required medical attention. Additional residential buildings reported shattered windows and damage to upper units, while debris fell into courtyards and locations. Emergency services deployed 172 personnel and 51 units of equipment to contain fires, evacuate residents, and assess structural damage, the regional command said. Russia's defense ministry claimed its air defense forces intercepted and destroyed 216 Ukrainian drones overnight, including 66 over Krasnodar region, 45 over Saratov region, dozens more across Volgograd, Rostov, Belgorod, Tambov, Bryansk, Voronezh, Nizhny Novgorod, and Oryenburg regions. The ministry also reported downing 19 drones over occupied Crimea and 59 over the Black Sea. There's your new update. Russia feeling some of the panic, more of the panic that Ukraine has been feeling since 2022 February. though. And this is all due to, finally, for a while, right? We talked about this, I think, 3 weeks ago. Zelensky said that once Europe and the US or whoever says, go ahead, you're allowed to attack Russia behind their borders, right? Because for a very long time, we've been stuck in this, like for 2 years, we've been stuck on a defense war. Ukraine's allowed to defend themselves, but as soon as they attack Russia, it's a bad thing, right?
You can't win a war if you're not weakening your enemy. There's no way to win a war if you're not weakening your enemy.
So they finally said, you know what,
fighting them on the
Ukraine,
battlefield.
You're allowed to attack them too. And we're not going to lambaste you over the global news about it. I'm sure somebody's lambasting.
Yeah.
There's your story.
Putin wants Ukraine to fight Russian tanks with horses. Yeah, let's get our horses, mount up. And their spears, let's get those.
Why are they also shooting us? Right? We just went there to defend those poor Russians in southern Ukraine, and now we're getting attacked? Ukraine's the bad guy. I'm sure that's what they're spinning on their propaganda channel.
Here's your headline. Putin's petroleum plant pummeled, pasted, and partially pulverized.
Love the keys here. Good alliteration. Pulverized indeed.
Yeah, and I got spit everywhere now. So let's do the wheel.
Next segue for your story.
Okay, we're going to read the one about, this is from the Atlantic. Got one story. This is the president. I'm sorry, sarcasm. And I guess this whole story is kind of like sarcasm. Yeah, it's because we're talking about Sneaky the Clown, a.k.a. Diaper Donnie. TheAtlantic.com's Adam Serwer has the headline, The President Who Cried Hoax. The Epstein files were the most important issue in the world until they weren't. Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That's unbelievable, Diaper Donnie scolded a reporter who asked about Epstein in July. Trump went on to suggest that the question was a desecration of the memories of those who had recently died in the floods in the Texas Hill Country. Of course, that's exactly what it was. A desecration of a thing he'd never cared about in the first place. It was a strangely aggressive reaction for the man whose most fervent supporters have spent years talking about Epstein, the disgraced financier and convicted sex offender who died in prison before his last trial, in which he faced charges for the trafficking of minors, died in the custody of Stinky the Clown. His associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, was sentenced to 20 years in prison on child sex trafficking charges during the 2024 campaign. Trump, when asked, pledged to release the documents related to the investigation, commonly referred to as the Epstein files. A key tenet of the cult of personality around Trump was that the belief that his second presidency would result in Epstein documents revealing the secret cabal of Democratic pedophiles. Oh, yeah, that's right. Pedophiles have a party. Did you know that? Yeah, they go and register and go, hey, well, you know what? I can't be a pedophile unless I register at a certain party. I don't think Epstein cared what party or anything you're in, as long as you had money. Money. Or you had connections to money. Or you were a politician being bought by somebody.
Yeah, let's not try to say creeps aren't in every single facet of life. They're not belonging to a different color or party. They belong everywhere.
Yeah, every interaction I've ever had with anybody about this online that's pro-Trump is like, well, Bill Clinton's in there. Okay, if Bill Clinton's in there, arrest him.
Fucking we know that already.
What do we want? What, if you got the evidence that he's, let's see it. Let's go. Like any motherfucker that's doing shit like this, can't we just fucking agree on that instead of just going, that side does it? Okay, that side does it. There you go. Got it. That side does it. That's your defense. Your defense of this, just the mind-numbing stupidity. It's like you're talking to a child all the time. It's like they don't process information. The information goes in, goes out, and nothing happens. Anywho, let's do this again. Trump says he will release the Epstein client list if he's elected. The right-wing propagandist account Libs of TikTok wrote in September 2024, the Democratic elites are shaking RN. What does that mean? Shaking. Just M, I guess. I thought it was an RN. I guess it's just an M. It's not even a word. The Democrat elites are shaking. Well, 1 year later, someone else is certainly shaking. On Wednesday, congressional lawmakers released thousands of emails from Epstein's estate. House Democrats highlighted 3, holding one in which Epstein told Maxwell that one of the women who accused him of abuse had spent hours at my house with Trump. Of course, he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop, Epstein wrote in 2019 to the journalist Michael Wolff. In another email exchange between them from 2015, Epstein was trying to game out how Trump might respond if asked by reporters about their relationship. I think you should let him hang himself, Wolff advised, which is that really a guy writing a book about somebody?
Allegedly.
No, it's right there in the email. It's not
Really?
alleged at all.
You should just
Oh,
let
Michael
him die.
Wolff is the one. Michael Wolff is being sued by Melania Trump because she said Melania Trump was dating Jeffrey Epstein when she met Donald Trump, right? Mm-hmm. She said that's not true. Decided to sue him for $1 billion, and Michael Wolff is now currently raising money to defend himself in a lawsuit because during the lawsuit he just is going to put all the stuff he has, like the actual emails that were sent to him from Jeffrey Epstein, all of their discussions, everything that he said, everything, his tapes, whatever, is going to be into a legal court case. Is that what Melania Trump really wants? Because if he says it, he probably has something to back it up. Back to the story. I'm just giving you a background who Michael Wolff is, right? He has the dirt. This is the guy with the dirt. I mean, obviously, he's working on a book and he doesn't want to give away details. A lot of people are asking him to be a hero and just spill it right now. But I'm like, well, I don't know if he has anything. So I don't, right? I'm just saying, let's see. Right? I don't know. We do have this, and if the estate has one Michael Wolff to Jeffrey Epstein email, they have all of them, right? They have all of them. So let's not pretend that he's got all this evidence that we just can't get right now. If these documents are actually made available. So anyway, Wolff advised him that hang Trump during a debate he was going to have. This is before he was president. You could save him. You could hang him the way that potentially generates a positive benefit to you, or if it really looks like he could win the election as president, you could save him generating a debt, which is, how blackmail works. Asked whether Trump has spent hours at Epstein's home with one of his victims, White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt provided angry word salad that was missing the crucial ingredient, a denial. Trump is now calling the whole book a
Also, it's just the
hoax.
press secretary, so of course he doesn't know. He wasn't. You need the actual man who's being, he's just some guy.
Carolyn Leavitt is the weakest human being I've ever seen in my life. Oh boy, she just makes my skin crawl. What a weak, feeble little person. Trump is now calling the whole thing a hoax. His favorite term to communicate to his supporters that should ignore any evidence of potential wrongdoing. But he's been trying to hush his supporters up on Epstein for a while. In July, Trump posted a screed on Truth Social insisting that somebody should not waste time and energy on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that nobody cares about. Oh, why would I understand? You understand that people do care that he raped children and set him up with other people who rape children. Nobody cares about, but that makes no fucking sense. A few days later, the Wall Street Journal reported on the existence of a signed birthday note for Epstein. The Wall Street Journal is a right-wing paper, by the way. Always has been, owned by Rupert Murdoch, of all people. The existence of a signed birthday note for Epstein, allegedly from Trump, which included Trump's familiar signature below an outline of a naked female figure. Trump sued the Journal over the article. Right-wing media got the message, no more Epstein talk. He sued them, but Rupert Murdoch probably still has something on Trump. I'm saying. The Fox News host, Jesse Waters, went from accusing Democrats of running interference or dead pedophile to claiming that Democrat calls to release the Epstein file were just another political attack. Oh, okay. Once again, the Democrats did not make this a campaign issue at all. This was never in any Democratic talking points I ever saw. This was all they ran on. This is the only thing they ran. It's one of the things they grabbed a hold of. So claiming this is Democrats behind this is kind of silly. Why not disclose the files? What are we protecting? What's the freaking deal here? The right-wing podcaster Michael Knowles said in September that the vast majority of Epstein victims were just hookers threatening to reveal the names of their Johns. As Matt Gaetz wrote in July, mentions of Epstein on Fox News dwindled following
maybe this is
demand.
a crazy concept, but I think if you're a president or something, you probably shouldn't have hookers. I know that's like a low bar, to reach, but
Well, I again, this is just some guy. I don't never heard of this clown, so I'm not going to respond. Again, just putting articles in there. It's like, why are you guys going after the victims? And this whole time it was like, get to the files, get to the files, get to the files. And now it's like, the victims are making shit up. What? Huh? You're making my head spin with these fucking... I can't even see the goalposts anymore. They moved them so many times. I gave up looking for the goalposts. I think they sunk them in the ocean somewhere. Explaining what happened here is relatively easy, as long as conservatives believe that Epstein's files would provide a pretext of persecuting Democrat elites. It was politically advantageous to speculate who might be implicated or suggest those people had Epstein killed. As soon as it becomes clear that Trump himself was in said files, all those right-wing media influencers who had promised their audience a lib bloodbath began to drop or downplay the issue. What's her name? That blonde chick. I forgot her name. She used to be on Fox. They got rid of her. I forget her name. Megyn Kelly.
Yeah,
Megyn
I know
Kelly.
what you're talking about, but she's
Megyn Kelly. It's in the next article. When the emails were released on Wednesday, this is this one. Whoa. I was just going to bring this up, and it's in an article. When the emails were released on Wednesday, former Fox News host Megyn Kelly insisted on some curious distinctions saying about Epstein on her podcast. I'm going to do my best Megyn Kelly voice. I don't know. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't liking to 8-year-olds, but he liked very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were. But would look legal to a passerby. That's what a grown
sounds
adult
like somebody who was also chased after by old men.
Yeah, he was legitimately excusing Trump having sex with 15-year-old girls because, hey, our Epstein actually she wasn't going to Trump. She was talking about Epstein, right? We know the legitimate guy who was doing it and trafficking was into girls that looked even younger than they really were, even though we're 15. I'm sorry. You're 15, you look even younger than you were. The 15 part doesn't bother you at all, Megyn Kelly. She's sick.
So, like I said, sounds like somebody who had to deal with this stuff, and she's like, I'm not a victim.
She has,
it happened to me too.
Working at Fox News, and she sued Fox. A bunch of women sued Fox News. I'm sure she got a payoff. But working at Fox News gave her that, what is it, Stockholm Syndrome? Yeah, she believes she's a righteous person when she just puts down people that were sexually assaulted. No big deal. No big deal to own children and charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to have sex with a lot of children. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know why? Because they're 15, not 8. Wow. Yes, I can't. Does she have kids? Your kids safe? Are your kids in some place where nobody's molesting them right now? Are you sure? This lady worries me. Anyway, the flip on Epstein reflects a consistent pattern. Some on the right have exploited the fear of and fascination with lurid sex crimes as a convenient pretext for persecuting LGBTQ people. Of course it is. He's wearing a dress. Obviously, he molests children. I'm like, you guys sure thinking about molesting children a lot. For the past few years, some right-wing activists and politicians have relentlessly accused gay and trans people of grooming children. That word usually refers to predators. Of course, I could just say the Catholic Church is grooming predators. I can say the Southern Baptists, with all of their arrests and all of their court cases, are grooming pedophiles. That's an actual fact. There's absolutely no evidence that people being gay or gay couples are grooming anybody to be anything. And even it's absurd that we take the word of a religion that
people or trans people who are grooming other people is about the same as straight people doing it. It happens. Everyone does it. Maybe not on purpose, but it happens, right? Oh, this person's younger than me, and I did not know. But yes,
yep. And conservatives,
actual predators, actual predators.
Yep, and conservatives did all of this even as they supported a candidate for president who was not only caught on audio bragging about sexual assault, but was also found liable for sexual abuse in a court of law, and then proceeded to appoint cabinet officials who were credibly accused of sexual assault. Whiskey Pete Hegseth are covering it up. No one in the Trump administration has talked seriously about how America might reduce or prevent sexual violence through public policy. If anything, the government is pushing policies to make it easier to get away with abuse or harassment, such as Defense Secretary Whiskey Pete's promise to the military there'll be no more frivolous complaints. Frivolous complaints. One could argue as a matter, what the hell does that even fucking mean? Who is this guy? Frivolous complaint? That sounds like a guy who did a lot of sexual harassment. Not just the one we know about. One could argue, as a matter of opinion, that the Me Too movement was overzealous, but the factual matter did not spare prominent Democrats. Like, I don't know. I still don't even know why Al Franken had to resign. Still disgusted by that. By contrast, the moment the documentation emerged of, Al Franken was in a comedy skit one time. He had to resign for that. By contrast, the moment that documentation emerged of Trump's association with Epstein's, the defenders started drawing fine distinctions between different kinds of sexual abuse, just in case. As long as sex crimes might justify rumor mongering about a political rival or a smear campaign against a marginalized group, right-wing media necessarily promoted conspiracy theories about the issue. But as soon as one of their own became implicated, they conveniently lost interest or began minimizing Epstein's crimes. Hey, you aren't really that young. Oh, man, they just looked 8 years old. All right. Still can't get over.
I mean,
apparently,
this
woman has children.
Yeah. I mean, for my sarcasm here, I think everyone who commits a crime should be, really nitpick on everything. He
didn't intend
I don't know why
that.
we got so angry about emails, sending secure emails to whatever, right? That's what happened to Hillary Clinton or something about her emails, which was such a big deal. I mean, that's exactly the same thing as committing a sex crime.
Nothing was ever proven about
the same exact thing, same crime.
No. Yeah, Hillary, exactly. I'm sorry, you got a clap here. Yeah, nothing was ever proven about Hillary Clinton other than she had 2 emails and a lot of them got erased or deleted. And that happens every day at the White House now, and nobody gives a shit.
Yep. But I'm glad we see it as the same thing as a sex crime.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
I mean, like I said during the beginning of your story, just why do people try to say, well, it was just some hookers? Why are we electing people who have hookers? Right? I'm pro sex work. Okay, I don't think it's bad.
There's no proof.
There's no proof
there's any elected official.
Whoa, involved in sex work.
You're pointing the finger at elected officials.
I don't think that's bad. Okay, but right.
What elected officials implicated in this? There's no elected officials implicated. Yeah. There's none. Except Trump. He's the only one that ever won an election. These are just billionaires and shit.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Clinton. Okay, but yeah. If there's something on Bill Clinton, where is it? Where is it? I am just saying.
I guess in the file.
Epstein would have be something, right? Why is it out there?
I guess if it exists,
you would think it would be out there. If they have it, release it. Let's see the Bill Clinton shit. Let's see it. God, come on, FBI. You know it's there. Let's go. Nope, they don't. Well, I don't know what they got. You can shut me up. There are 3 pages of Bill Clinton stuff and 7 million pages. Videotapes, recordings of Trump all over the world with girls, and they're just sitting on it until he dies or something. I don't know. The FBI, I have to haul them into court. I have to beat them with clubs to get them released.
Is that your only story?
It'd be fun to watch. Yeah, that's my only story.
Okay, then let's roll to our next segue for my culture news. We're going to talk about well, there's some culture news in this news.
Mm-hmm.
But first we're going to talk about water. My favorite topic, English water. And you're going to have to give me a bad pun.
Bad pun. Just one story, two stories?
It's two stories, but the first one is kind of like a background on why there's even the culture segment is about there being a sewage protest. But we're going to talk about this first one to explain what's been going on in related news, I guess. It's from Julia Cowell on The Guardian. Wessex Water has been ordered to pay £11 million over wastewater failures and told to spend it on improvements to reduce sewage spills and other measures. Ofwat, the industry regulator for England and Wales, said that Wessex Water and would fund a total enforcement package of £11 million, none of which will be paid for by customers through bills. No, you have to take this out of your paycheck. The watchdog found that Wessex Water failed to operate, maintain, and upgrade its wastewater network adequately to ensure that it could cope with the flow of sewage and wastewater. The company, which this year increased its bill by an average of 2%, £113, serves households across Bristol, Somerset, as well as Somersetshire, and part of Gloucestershire, Hampshire. The measures Wessex Water has been ordered to take include helping private landowners with sewage pipes, reducing spills at specific storm portals by bringing forward investment, installing additional monitoring equipment, and helping customers sustainably maintain rainwater at their properties. Good gutters, some sort of rainwater catcher, right? I think in the UK you're allowed to capture your rainwater, stuff like that. It is the sixth case in Ofwat's largest and most complex set of investigations to all companies in the sector and their management of water treatment networks. The regulator has already this year total penalties of more than £250 million on Shearwater, Thames Water, my ultimate villain, Thames Water. You're freaking, that's the Thames is a lot of places. It goes through the entirety of England. Keep that shit clean. Northumbrian Water, Anglian Water, and Southwest Water. Lynn Parker, the senior director of the enforcement of Ofwat, said our investigation has found that Wessex Water failed to effectively operate, maintain, and upgrade its wastewater assets, which means there were spills from storm overflows when there should have been none. To their credit, the company has been one of the more proactive in investigating and rectifying the problems identified. However, there remain breaches which must be accounted for and corrected. We understand that the public wants to see transformation change. That is why we are prioritizing the sector-wide investigation, which has so far held 5 wastewater companies to account. Wessex Water has invested more than $150 million since 2020 on upgrading storm region. And remember, just a little side tangent here, the reason why there's such bad storm overflows: climate change, water, and it's all these inadequacies in infrastructure are starting to show themselves more and more as we get rain and water and more flooding, as plans for the next 5 years to address many of the wastewater issues. However, Ofwat said that there remain further measures that take, in which the watchdog will continue to monitor. In June, the government banned bonuses for water companies that failed to protect the environment from the worst pollution incidents after widespread public outrage over the extent of sewage in Britain's rivers and seas. The chief executive of Wessex Water, Ruth Jefferson, was among water bosses who were banned from receiving £4 million in total bonuses for the last financial year because they're not running a good fucking water company. Water companies in England could face more and automatic fines for sewage dumping under new Environment and Agency powers. Investigations into pollution can take years, and fewer than 1% have resulted in prosecution. A Wessex Water spokesperson said, "We regret the impact our wastewater performance has had on customers and the environment. When the issue of our treatment sites were identified, we were quick to fix them. We would agree that there is much more to do, particularly in areas where groundwater enters the sewage network, resulting in overflows operating after rainfall events. The proposals in this package will tackle the problem directly. sealing pipes on private land that would not normally have powers over, as well as additional monitoring initiatives like water butts and rain gardens to help customers treat rainwater as a valuable. This not only prevents pollution, but also sewer flooding. Capture that water and use it for yourself. Use it to water your plants. But there's my
recycle your urine.
Yeah, exactly. There's your update on the water sewage issue with England water companies. Got a bad pun?
You need a pun. Yes, I say. Capitalists are always trying to muddy the waters of regulations. And speaking of muddy waters, I recently got my mojo working. So I had to call a repairman now. $40 to get me
$40.
Oh yeah, I got another bad pun. Yeah, you're welcome.
In my actual culture news, we're going to talk about how there was a protest for this sewage water, and a DJ played a 24-hour set in the Lake District. Patrick Barkman's reported this story on The Guardian. If you sit down and wonder why Britain's streams, rivers, and lakes are so filthy, you're probably holding out for a hero to halt the scandalous discharge of sewage. Those were 3 number 2 hits from the UK. Step forward, the Lake District radio DJ Lee Durant, who will go Radio Gaga with a 24-hour live broadcasting marathon today, playing songs that peak at number 2 charts to highlight the ongoing stench of not quite golden brown number 2s floating downstream. Very clever usage of number 2 hits.
Oh.
There you go. If you're fuming about the injustice of Crimea River or Born Slippy being left off the top spot, you may take comfort from pop classics being co-opted by the injustice of sewage spills, which is risking human health and wildlife in the Lake District, despite its status as a national park and heritage site. We've gone over this before on the show. About this again. The Lake District is like not exactly a province or municipality in England. It's just like a general area. Like this area that is considered the Lake is mostly in Cumbria in England. It's about 2,362 square kilometers of land in England that is just full of sewage from sewage dumping. What's more shocking, Fairy Tale of New York never making it to Christmas number 1, or United Utilities dumping sewage in the Windermere and paying themselves huge dividends as a result, said Durant. Begins his broadcasting marathon at, well, it already began. It's been going. It started at 8 a.m. It's 6. Or actually, it's probably 5 p.m. in the UK, so it's been going for a while now. We're based in the Lake District, so we're passionate about what's happening to our lakes, but it's become a wider issue across the country and around the world with sewage dumping in what we'd assume to be clean waterways. Between playing number 2s with Riverine residents from the Take That's the Flood to Dirty Cash by Adventures TV, Durant will be joined on the radio station by guests, campaigners from Windermere to surfers against sewage, environmental experts, and representatives from companies. Windermere was found to have high levels of bacteria found from species like E. coli throughout this summer, according to the comprehensive analysis of water in England's largest lake. Imagine wanting to go and have a nice swim at the lake, and then you get sick from E. coli. Only 14% of people in the lakes. Oh my god. Okay, let me repeat this again. Only 14% of all of England's rivers and lakes meet good ecological standards. Which means you're not going to get sick from swimming in them. 14%! It's an island! Which means there's a lot of lakes and rivers and shit. That's terrible. I should say there's a lot of shit in the rivers. I'm sort of looking forward to it and sort of dreading it, said Durant on...
Don't drink water. That's good advice anywhere.
I'm predicting the witching hour of 3 a.m. will be where I struggle. Might need to pay some heavy rock to get me through that. Winds of change might go down well in the lakes. So if you want... I don't know if you're not in the UK, you can listen to this. But, DJ Lee Durant is playing something at Lake District Radio. Maybe I can say Lake District Radio. Oh, you can visit You can go to Lake District Radio dot UK dot. I don't know. It's not giving me a URL. Copy URL. Either way, you can go to Lake District Radio. Probably just Google it, and they are currently playing music. Yeah, I can hear the music. So, and they're playing all the number 2s in support of the lake being just full of shit. So there you go. So I think I'm able to listen to it. So I think people everywhere else might be able to listen. You want to listen to some number 2 tracks in support of the Lake District.
All right, then. Support clean water. My buddy works. Are you there? Or do I want my pun now?
I was waiting for you.
My buddy works. My buddy's job. He samples effluent. Yeah, he's an expert. He's what you might call a connoisseur. Connoisseur.
A connoisseur. That's great. Like that.
Samples there. All right. So essentially, is there another story?
No, that was it. No more stories for me. Let's go into this day in history with our segue wheel. And we've got some haikus. I'll write you some haikus for this day in history.
Cool. All right. This probably won't take that long. I don't know. It didn't seem like I scrolled very much.
I mean, we already know there's barely anything for this day in history. For
well, see, history just happens, though. Right. Well, history just happens. It doesn't happen. Isn't planned. 1305, Clement V was crowned Pope, becoming the first of the Avignon popes, if you're getting tired of the old regular popes. 1851, Harper and Brothers published Herman Melville's masterpiece, Moby Dick. Call me Ahab. Call me Ahab because that's not really my name, but call me that anyway. You got to read the rest of the book to understand that part, I guess. 1885, the Serbo-Bulgarian War began when Serbian King Milan Abramovich IV declared war on Bulgaria. The Serbo-Bulgarian War. That was 140 years ago. 1889, American journalist Nellie Bly began her round-the-world race against the record of Phileas Fogg, hero of Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days, which is actually a fictional story. She completed the journey in slightly more than 72 days. So, way to go, Nellie Bly.
It was possible.
I mean, I'm not sure. Was Phileas Fogg a real person? I don't even know. I wasn't around in 1889, and I wasn't reading the papers. 1915, Booker T. Washington died at the age of 59. That's not really that old. The most influential spokesman for Black Americans of the time. 1935, King Hussein, whose reign of 53 to 99, it's a really long reign, marked the shaping of the modern kingdom of Jordan, was born in Amman. It's his birthday today, so he'd be 90. If he was around, he's not. Prince Charles is born today. I'm sorry. King Charles was born today. King Charles, Prince Charles, when he was born, no, the eldest child of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was born in Buckingham Palace. He came shooting right out of the palace. He became king 73 years later, looking at his watch the whole time, going, damn. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like King George lived like 9 years after he was king, right? Yeah, that would be Elizabeth's father. Let's do the next story. 1962, the Ethiopian Parliament and Eritrean Assembly voted unanimously for the abolition of Eritrea's federal status, making Eritrea a province of the Ethiopian Empire. Eritrea achieved independence in 1993. Eritrea. 1969, Apollo 12 was launched, carrying a crew of Charles Conrad, Richard F. Gordon, and Alan Bean. And 5 days later, the mission made the second landing on the moon. And we forgot their names over time, but there's their names. The second crew to go to the moon, Apollo 12, and this day. And for some reason, we got bored with going to the moon, stopped doing it. 1972, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 1,000 for the first time. Now it does that trading in one day. That's considered a moderate day nowadays. That's kind of funny. 2002, chosen to succeed Richard Gephardt as leader of the Democratic Party in the U.S. House of Representatives. Nancy Pelosi of California became the first woman to be named leader of either party in the House of Congress. She was Speaker of the House.
Maybe that's why she's retiring.
4 years later, she was the first Speaker of the House. She was because the Democrats did not control the House in 2002. 2014, Jane Byrne died at the age of 81. She was the first mayor. She was the first woman to serve as mayor of Chicago, not the first mayor. First woman to serve as mayor of Chicago. Her awesome reign as mayor of Chicago allowed the Blues Brothers to film that movie in downtown Chicago on a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday. Yeah, she closed off all the streets for a
car
movie.
chase, yeah.
Yeah, the car chase. Jane Byrne, yeah. She said, okay, give us a shitload of money and we'll close the city. And that's what they did. Blocked off all the streets, told everybody to stay inside. There's going to be a lot of cars driving through Chicago. That's the only movie I've ever seen that was able to do that. Our featured event is 1960. This happened just before, not in my lifetime, but close enough. Ruby Bridges' first day of school. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges began attending an all-white elementary school in New Orleans on this day in 1960, becoming the youngest group of black students to racially integrate schools in the American South. And she's being escorted by federal agents because white people don't want to give up whatever the hell they thought they were losing. I still don't know they thought they were losing there. Something's going to happen now. I don't know. People are morons. It's kind of my general opinion. Sorry, everybody. You're probably really intelligent if you're watching this because, hey, no. You don't find us by accident because for sure YouTube ain't promoting us, right? Our feature biography is Boutros Ghali, who had the greatest name to make fun of in the history of the David Letterman show, and Johnny Carson, and everybody just kept making fun of that guy's name. It might have been after Johnny. He was the Secretary General of the United Nations. He was Egyptian, and he was born on November 14th, 1922 in Cairo, died in Cairo at the age of 93 in 2016.
Damn, that's a long time.
Hey, Boutros, birthday. 1840, Claude Monet, French painter's birthday. Jawaharlal Nehru, the guy who got the Nehru jacket guy, Prime Minister of India, 1889. Joe McCarthy, communist hunter who caught absolutely zero communists, was born this day in 1908. Charles, we covered Charles. Condoleezza Rice's birthday today, former Secretary of State and George W. Bush fangirl. Our national days today is National Pickle Day, National Seatbelt Day, National Family PJ Day, and National Spicy Guacamole. Yum.
Why?
All of those things.
Why would it be unspicy?
I have no idea.
What are they? I don't know. They don't put jalapenos in it? Disgusting.
You just gotta warn people sometime. That might make you drink some water or something like that. You might have to run to the bathroom quickly. You just got to warn them. Did I say Family PJ Day? I'm going to put on my PJs. I'm going to strap myself in a seatbelt, eat some pickles and guacamole for November 4th, 2020. Those are your mispronunciations. I said November 4th. There's your mispronunciations, your haikus. Haven't happened yet, but we're going to have one in a minute for November 14th, 2025 on Before Guacamole and Pickles.
I really don't want to eat that. That does not. I love pickles. I love guac.
Separately.
Yeah, I would never dip my pickle in guac. That sounds awful. I'm going to try it one of these days. And I'm like, yeah, there's a reason you don't do that. Pickles. I do miss eating a big mama pickle. You know, that's not a thing here. You can't buy like a overinflated pickle that's spicy at the gas station. Really sad.
Right on.
That's what people always say, though, right? Whenever you're like, oh, what do you miss about the United States? The food. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Just the food.
Drinks that you can take a bath in.
Yeah.
This size,
All right, let me give you your 3 haikus here. For the first one, Earth steps through the door. Courage in the face of hate. History unfolds. You know what that's about? Frown upon his brow. Laughter echoes in the halls. A jester's heart reigns. That's about Charles III, because he's a clown. Crunchy green delight. Brine-soaked memories arise. Celebrate the crunch. Because nobody likes a soggy pickle. You love a crunch, yeah. Nice crunchy pickle.
I don't have a crunch
a
noise.
gherkin, as
Where's
they
the
call it
crunch
here.
noise?
They call it a gherkin.
Right then.
All right, let me
down.
look.
He's just
I'm
happy
sure
it's
I saw
Friday.
some international observances this weekend. Yes. Today is World Diabetes Day, which I think you said, your doctor said you're diabetic. It happens to all of us. Our bodies are actually designed to get diabetes because we're not supposed to live this long, and our body gets just worse and worse at dealing with sugar. So it's actually the end of most of people's lives is them being diabetic. Diabetic. It just happens. The normal thing that can, of course, it can occur in all life stages, from childhood to being older into your adulthood. So make sure that you keep yelling at pharmaceutical companies for making insulin too expensive. Because that shit should
Take care of your
be
pancreas.
2 cents.
Your pancreas
to
will
buy.
take care of you.
Yeah, exactly. Diabetes is a major cause of blindness because of glaucoma, kidney failure, heart attack, stroke, and lower limb
Said that.
amputation. That's why a lot of people get their legs cut off. Take care of their diabetes. So keep your eye on your sugar levels. Make sure you go to the doctor.
Get your blood sugar listen.
And I don't know, lobby the government to make sure that they're not selling shit for way too much. Tomorrow, it's also International Day of the Prevention of Fight Against All Forms of Transnational Organized Crime. That's,
Oh boy.
I know we didn't talk about
Jeffrey
this on the show,
Epstein.
but a couple weeks past, Europe and Interpol killed a bunch of phone bots. And conveniently enough, a lot of Twitter users saw a drop in their post interaction.
Yeah.
And that's a crime. Running a bot farm is a crime. So make sure to celebrate ending high-level international crime. Take down those organizations that are trafficking people, selling, smuggling, immigrants, and of course, destroying social media. You know, the whole, what is the idea? Dead internet theory, where like we're not talking to anybody, we're all bots arguing with bots. That's what we're entering. So we got to get rid of these bots, take them down, so we can have the internet again. Sunday is International Day for Tolerance for UNESCO. So let's tolerate that people are different from us. That's okay. And we can actually learn things from people who are different from us. They have a different perspective on life, and they can share different solutions that we might, I do this to tie my shoe. Maybe that person, how they tie their shoe is different and it's better. So let's declare our principles for tolerance. All UNESCO member states decided on November 16th, 1995, that we need to affirm that tolerance is neither an indulgence nor indifference. It's a respect and appreciation of the very rich variety of our world's cultures, our forms of expression, and the way of being human. Everyone is human. That's a guarantee, I can tell you that much. Anyways, this has been Allison.
Not always a good thing.
Yeah, being different is good. This has been Allison.
No,
here
I said being
from
human
the
is not always a good thing.
Roger from the U.S., East Coast of the U.S. As we finish up another week, another Friday. Take care of yourselves this weekend. We'll see you on Mucking Fun Day, so we can tell you all the news you might have missed over the weekend. Don't forget to follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and turn on those notifications. Live or post a video. And of course, if you'd like to support the show, because we make no money off of this show, check out the Patreon, and then we can make money. Thank you for supporting us on there. We got no ad revenue from here. And let's go to our dirty water mic drop moment. You can't hear me.
I'll let you figure it out.
Oh yeah, right. The River Thames. These were the original dirty water protesters.
Oh, okay. This ain't the original, though. The original was about Boston.
You gotta create a good song. Tell people, hey, guess what? You're spilling sewage. I mean, there's something really sad about living in a place with a water source and you can't touch it because it's disgusting. It's all sorts of grime. Love his dance moves, by the way. Just swinging his mic stand.
This groove is so awesome.
No, you're right. I play the guitar riff is really.
This is a bar band staple just about every
It does sound like one. Oh, like the drummer's having fun.
If you got a city with a river, you sing this song, just change the lyrics.
Oh, look at him. He's doing a solo to the drums. There he goes back with his mic stand.
Like a basic Chuck Berry riff, right?
I like his purple shirt. And of course the classic wearing sunglasses inside. I wonder if this is actually a sexual innuendo.
They look like they borrowed their clothes, right?
What do you mean, like they just
found them?
It doesn't fit. The jacket's too big.
There's punk and then there's wow. These are just nerds from high school.
Well, I think they did a good job.
Oh, I love it. I love this song. I went back and found the original when I heard it the first time. It's got the original somewhere. Because I said this is the Standells.
I said dirty water.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons. And follow our other channels. Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.